Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Magic Arena Run. Today we are going to be doing another episode of porting to Explorer. So we're basically taking a look at different Pioneer decks. Although to be fair, this one seems to have been ported quite well already. So I'm actually gonna be just talking more about the what are the negotiables, what are the non-negotiables about this deck. This deck is Rakdos Midrange. I feel like this is a very good fit, especially in Explorer, if you're afraid of the Greasefang combo, if you are afraid of, okay, maybe not so much the Transmogrify combo, but this one, it does a number on the Greasefang combo. So let's take a look at what are the important parts about this deck here. So actually, first off, we can So let's do a very quick roundup about here. So we'll start with the non-negotiables. 4 copies of Fatal Push, 4 copies of Thoughtseize. Every deck list has these. 4 copies of Bloodtide Harvester for your early aggro and potential removal. The token also gives you some card advantage, some card selection. 4 copies of Graveyard Trespasser, 4 copies of Fable of the Mirror Breaker, and 4 copies of Bone Crusher Giant. These are all the non-negotiables of this deck, and I pretty much agree with it. There isn't that much to play with around with these. There is some room to play around with the number of Croxus. Most lists have 2, so let's do a very quick look over this one. Yeah, this one has 2. So this version, top 4 MTGO Pioneers set. This one has 2 copies. This one did 1-0 on League, also has 2 copies. And this is the one that I kind of started with. This one won Hareruya tournament. No, did it win? No, it went second. Sorry, my bad. But pretty good stuff there. Also 2 copies. I see some decks doing 3 copies, but I think that's kind of overkill. You really want to do 2 copies. You'll notice the 2 copies of Kalitas, Traitor of Geth. That one is usually that one not available right now. So and you'll also notice the number of Planeswalkers here. Single copy of Sorin, 2 copies of Chandra. That's the same throughout all 3 of them. In Explorer, what they normally do is they would normally just add 1 each. 2 copies of Sorin, 3 copies of Chandra. But there is some interesting tech that other decks are trying out. If you've noticed, one of the mid-range lists here has a single copy of Hazoret. And I think what they ended up cutting was one of the instant and sorcery spells. So I'm actually trying this out in lieu of another Chandra. I feel like the 3rd Chandra is a bit weird if you're afraid of Greasefang. It's kind of okay against everything else. Actually, it depends. If you're up against a Planeswalker matchup, Chandra's not exactly doing anything here, except advancing your clock. So there is a Bloodchief's Thirst. There is a Duress. Oh, I should also mention the 3 Baleful Masteries here. This is a placeholder for the 3 Dreadbores that are normal in Pioneer. Now in the Explorer version, what they would normally have is more instant removal. Again, anti-Greasefang combo, but usually it's in the form of Heartless Act or some other sacrifice style effect. I felt like running the Baleful Mastery because you never know when you're running into a Planeswalker matchup. Having an out against it is nice. Also, the Exile kinda relevant here, especially if you don't want to, because you have to remember that the Greasefang decks don't have a way to recur that Greasefang. So also this one Duress, another version of the list has Strangle. We're running Duress on this one. Oh yeah, I should turn off the window capture to talk about this. Yeah, so we have the 3 Baleful Masteries there. Sideboard, many options to go through, but usually Legion's End, Ray of Enfeeblement because Greasefang is white, Noxious Grasp again because Greasefang is also white. Some Damping Spheres. This one is a holdover from Pioneer. I don't know how relevant this would be in Explorer. The 3 copies of Go Blank is a nice touch if you're going against controls. Same with Cole against Command. But that's pretty much the deck list in a nutshell. So since we're only going through one version of the deck list here, I might make some changes along the way. But for the most, so what we're gonna do is we're going to do a few single solo explorer rank, and we're gonna probably do a traditional explorer rank or two depending on how much time we have. So again, this is pretty much meant to go up against Greasefang combo, especially in explorer. Can also do a number against certain decks. You need to have the right hand if you're going up against aggro. This is what I would call super sketchy. We do have the emergency Baleful Mastery, but triple Graveyard Trespasser. I should note that the number of lands we have, I'm really tempted to mull, but I'm gonna keep this. That said, I should note that this is not Greasefang combo already because our opponent's leading on Giganta. This might be Onicult Anvil, which actually does make this hand make this a bit worse. Okay, so far not quite yet. We can at least do turn 3 Fable, though it probably gets killed. At least I know because of Giganta, this is definitely Sultai, but at least I know it's not an ultimatum deck, so that's kind of some good news. We could always use a little good news here or there. We're gonna run out the Fable first. It gives us the most value, even if they have an answer to the token. They would have to literally counter it to get it. So Growth Spiral. Okay, this is ramp. So the question is, and so far I should assume this is a 5-color ramp deck. So we need to make good use of these Baleful Masteries. Omnath draws a card. We're going to discard. I want to keep the Thoughtseize just in case. Okay, hit a little too many lands there. So what we can do is we can exile, attack, generate the treasure, and then Thoughtseize our opponent, see what is really up. Also, it's nice to know that our deck pretty much maxes out at 4, so... Oh, it's a Niv-Mizzet combo. They do have Assassin's Trophy, so... Tyrant Scorn... Okay, we're gonna go with the Niv-Mizzet Reborn. Opponent might be tempted to start doing Assassin's Trophies on our stuff. Did they happen to hit another Niv? Okay, no, they're going for Giganta. We're definitely gonna swing first. Also, opponent... Yeah, let's see if our opponent decides to deny us the treasure token. No, they're not. I'm actually tempted to not, because I already discarded 2 Graveyard Trespassers. I kind of don't want to discard the third one. I want to convince our opponent to kill Kiki Jiki. So we're gonna pass. Also, it leaves us enough mana that we can Baleful Mastery their Giganta. So they're going Tyrant Score. Okay, so that's fine. That's 1 removal down. It also hits Graveyard Trespasser as well, so that would be annoying. Assassin's Trophy kind of just trades land for land. Oh, I should also note that the original decklist doesn't have that many basics. There was 1 Urborg on the list. And this is a death trigger. So I guess we'll just have to deal with Giganta the other way. Okay, we also hit our Chandra. So we will have the 7 mana for both. The problem is our opponent does have a bit of removal. So we'll play the Chandra first. Exile the top card. Thoughtseize, we will cast that. So we'll hold on the Graveyard Trespasser for now, but let's see. Lots of removal. We'll discard the Giganta. Let's force our opponent to cast all that removal. And we can act, and just remember instance, so this is destroy target permanent, that includes lands, so let's convince our opponent to use up all of these. Landing, so, okay, not bad. I did not realize she had the temper. Okay, let's be careful next time. I am gonna activate Hive. Let's see if opponent might just kill this in response now. I'm actually, well, can't. They did hit another Tyrant Scorn, so that's a bit annoying. I'm actually gonna have to be careful now with the Graveyard Trespasser. Nothing I really want to get out of their graveyard. We are one Niv Mizzet away from kind of losing. That's probably the worst thing about this. No, Clothis. Ah, drawing lots of lands. Hold on. Just play this tapped. Let's see if we can convince... Okay, we're not convincing our opponent. They are down to 2 cards. I'm going to play the Graveyard Trespasser. We're going to eat the Niv. Oh, they did not go for the Assassin's Trophy. Now I kind of wish I didn't discard that many. Discard all of these guys. Deafening Clarion, nice. That's a good out. We might be in trouble just because of this Clothis. Ugh. Singleton Bloodchief's Curse not doing anything. So what can we hope to hit? We have one more Graveyard Trespasser. But the Clothis might just win the game for our opponent. This is usually a singleton here, so kind of unfortunate. At the Fable, we might be able to convince our opponent to... So we're also going to hold all these cards now. We might be able to convince our opponent to do Assassin's Trophy on this. But yeah, we're still one Niv Mizzet away from losing. Opponent now normalize the life. Expressive Iteration. Okay, they're digging. And let's see. White, red, black, blue, green. Okay, they have the Niv. They have the Niv mana. Do they have the Niv? No, they're cycling. Which means Assassin's Trophy comes live. The smart play is to actually deny me the... Yeah, they're gonna go for it. They're gonna deny me the... And... Yep, we're out of basic land, so... Good. And the cards are not exact. Yeah, the Fatal Push not quite gonna do it. It's gonna do it against a smaller creature, but this deck does not run smaller creatures. It's pretty much all well, this is the closest to a smaller creature and it's indestructible. So what's our best bet? Yeah, sure. Can't really do anything. A Cling to Dust would actually be a interesting tech here. Okay. Yeah, really unfortunate with the Deafening Clarion. That's generally a one-off. I probably should do some research on that deck, but if I'm not mistaken, that is a one-off. Now also note that our opponent's not gonna... Yeah, these are generally instant sorceries. Opponent did go on the tank long enough for this expressive iteration. So Unmoored Ego. They're gonna get a very good look at our deck. Question is what Kroxa. That's a good call. That would eat up a lot of their. That's a good call. That would eat up a lot of cards. Because our opponent generally requires to have a lot of card advantage over time. That's kind of why they're running Niv. So the Kroxa would be a very good one. They would also now see the Hazoret, but I do have expressive. They're digging. Okay, expressive iteration again. Hazoret would not be so bad. I do have ways of dumping my hand. Okay, going for another land. So that's a Bloodtide Harvester. So I will pop this. Drop the Fatal Push because I'm more likely to need to kill a Niv. Now we only use 2 Fables, so a third one is probably not so bad. But I also want to anticipate the possibility that I need to... Nope, they did have the third Niv. So we are... So it's a good thing we held on to the Blood Chief's Thirst. That was a weird... I probably should have just discarded the land. That was the safest thing. But we know our opponent lands this. Okay, what do they hit? Growth Spiral, Iteration, Crassus. Okay, oh, wait, no, they can only choose between Crassus and... Ooh, now I wish I kept the Fatal Push. Because that would kill Crassus no matter what. Opponent can Crassus for Hydrate Crassus for 2. X equals 2, so that's 1 card +1/+1. That's still a big deal. Teferi. Yes, of course they run Teferi. So yeah, this is a... Yep, we are good. Now we could just attack all here. We did hit the Fatal Push, so we'll hold on to that. Yeah, kind of have to do it like that. But our opponent is going to draw a ton of card advantage just off this one. Yeah, yeah, this one Clotis is gonna kill us. Into another Niv Miz. Yeah, I think we can concede it. We can concede this now. We kind of used up most of our options there. All is well. All was relatively fine until that one moment with when they hit the Clotis. That one just took the game out of reach. Shadow's Verdict would be an interesting board wipe option. Something nice to keep in mind, I suppose. Again, I will post the different deck lists in the description, so that's why you're not seeing the deck list here. I might post just some for you to have ideas. I actually like working off from Pioneer first, so we are definitely keeping this one, even if it's just a Fatal Push open. Though, if our opponent leads on an aggressive 1-drop, I might just Blood Chief's Thirst first. Okay, this is probably Angels, so we can actually have this enter tapped. This is either my first suspicion is usually Angels. Okay. Might have a tree drop. Oh, I should have played this one first. This one ETB's tapped anyway. Yep. Okay, so we do have our tech option here. So Kroxa. Force him to discard a card. Eh. Ooh, yep. We should expect a Coco in the future. So depending on what they land, we might just Chandra immediately. Righteous Valkyrie. Yep, we're Chandra. Opponent still is about 2 lands away from activating that. And next turn, we depending on what they drop, we can either just Bloodchief's Thirst or... Yep, Bloodchief's Thirst Plane. Though the Giada is a concern. Let's exile the top card. You may cast. We're going to... Actually, yeah, okay, so there's 2 possibilities. One, they gain too much life off this. But then again, I don't like the idea. Yeah, we'll just cast this. We will Bloodchief's Thirst Giada, because that one can get over the top. So can the Spirit token. I do like... I guess it's possible that the correct play... Also should keep an eye on this one. There's also a good chance that so at least the Bloodtide Harvester in the ground just keeps the Bishop Wings from just getting through. We are 1 Coco away from being in real danger though. Resplendent Angel. Okay, Resplendent Angel again. So we probably have to crack this. Okay, so we're gonna discard the Takenuma. Ugh, not good. Okay, this one's slightly better, though. Oh, get play Kroxa again. So the only benefit we have so far is that our opponent is quite a... Okay, 1-3. I really want to play Fable right away. Also, I can't but I do want to get 1 card in the yard. I could actually sacrifice the Bloodtide Harvester for no effect just to get Kroxa on the board. Take out their last card and just start from there. Super risky. Okay, this does absolutely nothing. I know that. Because this is the... Shame we're losing the other Kroxa for this, but... Take... Okay, they had another Resplendent Angel, so it's a good thing we got rid of that. Opponent forced to play this on blue. We will lose Chandra. Okay, another Hive. So we'll do Fable first. We actually want to preserve lands because we do want to discard them to here. So the key question is, do I hold on to the Bone Crusher Giant or do I just start swinging? Because I can also just nuke their one... I can also just nuke their 1 token here. Yeah, we're gonna hold here for now. So we're in danger if our opponent hits another land. Righteous Valkyrie. Okay, not so much. Still bad though. But now I'm incentivized to hold onto the Bone Crusher because it lets the Goblin Shaman take out something. Probably not Resplendent Angel though. Graveyard Trespasser buys us sometimes, so I probably want to discard both of these. Ooh, Baleful Mastery is good. So this is on enters the battlefield. This is also on enters the battlefield, so I can snipe this in response. Again, we're gonna see if our opponent's gonna try to go block with Righteous Valkyrie. Okay, they're... Okay, since they gave up the token, I'm just gonna cast the Graveyard Trespasser. Hold up Baleful Mastery, because we know we need to snipe this one. We can't... At least Bishop just gaining 4. And the other thing is, if our opponent decides to go for the +3/+3, there, we just burned their turn. And again, we can keep swinging with Graveyard Trespasser and whatnot, so... And we have a Live Fable coming soon. So we can just say, copy Kroxa. Yeah. And opponent concedes there. We were gonna get the dunk on them. That was a very good one. We were, I will admit, we were very fortunate. Our opponent did not have Coco. Did not have Collected Company. That would have been a disaster on for us if that happened. But that's a solid win right there. I'd say... I kind of actually want to do two sets of traditionals, so I'm actually going to go best of 3 rank, best of 3 explorer rank. We're gonna test out this. We're gonna test out the sideboard tech here. Now the sideboard tech also plenty of flex spots. So many other cards I would consider. In the Pioneer list, some versions have Rending Volley, white and or blue burn. Okay, so we're definitely keeping this, if only for Blood Crypt into Takenuma. Or just to get Kroxa down. Opponent going down to 6, so that kind of helps us a bit. I will note that we're pretty much a 3 mana or bust deck, so that might be an issue. So at least we slow our opponent down a little bit, but this... Okay, they discard the Chandra. That's actually a decent one. I had to also pay attention. This could easily be an Obnix deck. Yeah, Courier's Briefcase. Kinda want to lead on Fable. And the reason for that is because I might want to... I do want to start discarding just to get Kroxa alive again. I want to hit our 4th land drop. Chandra, Torch of Defiance. They could snipe the token. Okay, so we are discarding Graveyard Trespasser. I might want to keep the other Fable. I don't think... I'm only gonna discard the 2 Graveyard Trespassers because I might need the other Fable. This could easily be a mistake. Okay, we did hit our land for the next Kroxa, so... First things first. And let's just Kroxa again. Opponent discards a land. So they probably need what else is left there. Could easily just be 4-drop City, but yeah, Eska's Chariot, that's 4-drop City. The good news is we can Fatal Push one of these tokens. Opponent can crew the Chariot, but okay, then we probably also want to land. We probably want to land the Bone Crusher Giant first. So even if our opponent manages to crew Eska, we have a blocker. My concern is if our opponent hits mana 5 and onward, that could easily be like Goldspan Dragon territory, which we are. Okay, so far it's not the case. I'm actually going to just go Graveyard Trespasser first. It's nothing much to eat on their yard, and I definitely don't want to eat our side of the yard either. I'm going to swing with the Bone Crusher Giant. Because a timely Kiki Jiki Reflection means we can actually create if we need to. Opponent has their own Fable. So let's see if they decide to go for the Chariot. And now the interesting part here is I can make a copy, but because we're already on the end step, this one actually gets to swing. Opponent goes for Boseiju. That will get us a basic land. Oh, or land with a basic land type. That also works too. So we now have the 6 cards. So first things first, I'm gonna swing here. Let's see the Courier's Briefcase. Let's try to limit their card types to 1. Opponent actually lets it go. They did not dare risk Eska's Chariot in case I might have something. I'm tempted to actually not cast anything to let it flip, but we need to get the Fable train going. I'm going Fable over Sorin here. So opponent discards the land, so they do get some good use out of that. And opponent concedes, so there we go. We managed to survive that one. Opponent's gonna be more prepared. I didn't see that many creatures, so that actually leads me to first Noxious Grasp. Cold against Command also quite good here. So what are our weak cards? Bloodshed. Fatal Push is fine. I think we can go without. We can cut the Baleful Masteries for now. I'm willing to keep Hazoret. I might cut the 1 Sorin. Duress. We are on the draw, so that's good. And Bone. I really don't know what happened with our opponent's deck. I'm gonna keep the. I'm gonna cut 1 Fable for the time being. We're gonna keep as much of the early. We're gonna keep as much of the early game pressure as possible. That's our initial plan. Hazard. I suspect this is just Gruul midrange that but no, the card choices are admittedly very weird. Courier's Briefcase, Double Chandra, Chariot, Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Our opponent's clearly going out of their way not to have actual creatures, so this could actually be a Transmogrified deck, so the Baleful Mastery cuts might actually be really bad. Oh, Indomitable Creativity is another possible one. So we definitely want to keep the Thoughtseize. We definitely want to keep the Duress. We have another duress in the sideboard. I probably would want to keep those. Yeah, the trend. Yeah, I guess our cuts might not have been the correct ones. We do get turn 1 Thoughtseize, so we're gonna... This one's even sketchier, so that's my concern, but we'll keep this. Okay, we get the turn 1 duress as well. So we're gonna go with the duress first. So Fable into Hearse. We'll cut the Hearse first. Opponent does have another Hearse. So Kolaghan's command does have a live target. We still need to draw. We need to draw a third land though, otherwise it's all for naught. Maybe our opponent will would snipe one of our lands. Beats me. But we know that this is not doing anything. Well, unfortunately, neither are we. Yeah, this is probably the one weakness. Bad hand keeping decisions. So knowing that they have the unlicensed Hearse in, we probably will cut Croakson next. Opponent did hit their 4. Ah, not good. So this is now 4/4. The command is now... Let's see. Oh, they haven't hit yet. I guess I have no choice. I should have cast this earlier. I did not really expect to lose. To not draw lands, but sometimes it happens. We're just waiting for our opponent to slam something good. So far, they've just been... Carnage, Tyrant, can't... Oh, Trample, Hexproof. Okay, so... Not quite getting out of it. We don't have Death Touch. And we missed all our land drops, so we're gonna concede this one. So now that we know that they have a race to 6 target... So Duress is still good. Baleful Mastery is, again, yeah, Baleful Mastery was a good cut. Noxious Grasp, not exactly... This is an instant for... So it kind of matters. I think I cut the Bloodchief's Terse, add another Duress at this point. I might cut the one Sorin as well. And either go for another Duress, or I could just go for a Go Blank. Let's go for another Duress. We have Damping Spheres, but I don't know. So the important part is to make sure that we... This time... So again, this is really a 3 mana or bust deck for the most part. Yeah, having multiple Chandras was already a sign that we should have mulled. We're gonna mull this one, my gosh. Okay, this is relatively more keepable. But if they decide that we're going to lose by not giving us lands, then so be it. So Fire Prophecy, Abrade, so lots of removal. Take out the Chariot, because that's the biggest headache. So the important part here is really just the Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Oh, I should have cut the Fatal Pushes also, though it does answer their tokens. Is this a Transmogrifite deck? I'm gonna pass, see what happens. Also, opponent does not suspect anything because though this could easily just be plain Ram. Play the land. Oh, they drew another Chariot. So that resolves. So that's actually not too bad. But man, we getting brutalized on the mana. Okay, finally drew our mana. The correct play is to just fatal push this token, get, because we know that's only just another courier's briefcase. But yeah, we need a lot of help here onwards. Opponent's going for the other briefcase. They probably still have 4 mana. If this really is a transmogrified deck, then we are in real trouble. So, but at least we're hitting our mana drops. I'm gonna play Fable. Opponent, I do want our opponent to just start using this up. The most important part for us is to get the card selection. Though there's a very good chance that oh yeah, opponent does the Fire Prophecy thing. They put an unknown card to the bottom. We won't know what they put. They are going for 5-6 mana. It's a Carnage Tyrant. No, they would have cast it already. Chandra Awakened Inferno. And unfortunately, this Chandra does not hit. So yeah, we're gonna lose this. And unfortunately, this does not hit red planeswalkers. I can make them discard their last card. I can also go Chandra first. Doesn't really help. This one forces them to at least use this. Yeah, let's just go for this. At least forces them to do a -X. Hey, up for a match? Interesting. Let's ask him. Maybe he's interested. I'm about to lose this one anyway. So definitely resolve all. Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, between the multiple Chandras, we're not getting out of this. And this is already at 10. We're taking 2 a turn. Probably gonna take another one as well. Okay, that was a good discard. And we might as well. Oh yeah, they used the Chandra. Just found a few. And an unlicensed first. Oh no, that eats our Croxa. My gosh. Wow. Though to be fair, we also stalled out on mana for a bit, so that was really brutal. Brutal of it. We are definitely not gonna win this one. Yeah, hit the Castle Lockwing. Easy beast. Yeah, just some dude. Ooh. Unfortunately, I should have played. Oh wait, it would have ETB tap anyway. Yeah, I would not have had the land for that. So might as well force the situation. This is at least it eats the token, but we're gonna go down to 1. Yeah, not going anywhere here. And opponent can just choose not to cast their Titan of Industry. Well, at least we did get one game off this one. Also, this was not our this is not our normal fare, as in not our normal target. Yeah, the Trespasser would have been nice, but yeah, getting stalled out on mana for both those games. Though I'll be fair, second game was definitely our fault. Should not have kept that hand. Third game, yeah, we were then forced into a mulligan. Could I have mulligan down to 5? No, that would be too scary. But again, this is a 3 mana deck, so that's there is a little bit of weakness in that one. Let's try another one. Hold on. Well, yeah, we'll see if our friend's up to it. And yeah, for those who are not familiar, Royal Monk was actually I met Royal Monk in the Historic Artisan Tournament. So definitely going on the play first. The game is trying to kill, really trying hard to kill me, is it? Okay, this is much better. Except for the triple force, but I might just... I'm probably going to bin the Chandra at this point. So we get turn 1 Thoughtseize. I could skip it down to a turn 2 Thoughtseize. Ooh, wow. Okay, Kroxa would do a number to us. I have to actually let that go. It's really bad, but since I know I need to hit 4 mana, I cannot afford to lose. Although it might not help. At least the Fatal Push can kind of help us if our opponent has mid. So next turn, if our opponent goes a Bone Crusher Giant, they're not going Bone Crusher Giant. I can cast Hazoret. But what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna cast Chandra first. We're gonna take a +1. And definitely not, we're just going for 2. Yeah, Blood Chiefstress is fine. Basically, we can convince our opponent to start throwing their resources here. Then they're not throwing their okay, Bone Crusher Giant's there. So we have Baleful Mastery as an option. I take 2, but it's actually not too bad.
You're going down.
Yeah, we'll take the 2. There is a chance our opponent is also... This is the mirror match, so we might be in for a world of hurt here. We might have to even give our opponent a card. Let's see what their mid play is. Bone Crusher. Into Bone Crusher again. Let's give them the card. Not ideal, but then again, I know most decks do not have a Hazoret. So I'm gonna do the +2. Cast this. And in order to attack, we need to be down to 1 or less cards, so Hazoret Tech coming true. I'm just taking a chance on the fact that I know this I know this one doesn't normally have... There are some versions that run, say, sacrifice effects. No, opponent is going for the Chandra. to... Yeah, another Tots. Yeah, I guess we can Totsies again. So Totsies into... We'll take out their Graveyard Trespasser. So I'm actually going to just play the Bone Crusher Giant here. The Totsies actually benefits us for the most part. And opponent concedes. We got our... the Hazoret tech that did pay off here. So knowing that our opponent is also on this... They have a good number of creatures to go with their non-creatures, so Duress is not necessarily correct. Legions and... No, the only two... It's only Kroxa and Bloodtide Harvester. Go Blank is probably the biggest thing we can add here. I'm actually cutting some Fatal Pushes because it needs a little bit of help for us to activate. I might also cut the one Sorin for, say... Yeah, Kolaghan's Command is probably not bad. Not bad. I'm not going to go down all the Fatal Pushes quite yet. Yeah, Bloodchief's Church because we do need some anti-Planeswalker tech. The Fatal Push is probably not the strongest one here, because we need to actually lose something. Now, there are ways, like between the Blood tokens and the Treasure tokens, it could help a bit, but... Also, we'll do this light cut first, see how it goes. There is probably an argument for just loading up, spamming the Juresses. Our opponent might have gone into more non-creature tech. That's something that we could consider. So we do have... Okay, we have multiple 2s, so I'm willing to keep this one. I think we're going to be punished again. I don't believe this. Opponent has the Thoughtseize, so... They'll probably take one of our 2s, most likely the Bone Crusher. They could also take the Bloodtide Harvester, which is probably relevant as well. If they're feeling spicy, they could take one of the Fables. They took the Go Blank. Okay. Scared of losing their cards. No. Now, the reason I play this is because I do want to have a turn 3 play. Opponent's going to have their turn 3. We know they have nothing that can snipe this one at least. That's the good news. So next turn we most likely just play Fable, start churning through our deck a little bit. If our opponent also has Bloodtide Harvester. Definitely going for the Fable. Oh, opponent actually going for the discard. Discarding Kroxa. They only have 2 cards in the yard, but that's actually perfect. So... Yeah, that's Chump Block. So that's 3 cards. I think I will add another Go Blank. So if we have to... they flip their own Fable. So Bone Crusher, probably want to discard this and the Chandra. Not hitting our lands, but we do have something spicy. I could also just nuke their token, but my concern is that let's see, 3, 4, 5. This is 5 other cards, so they can't do it quite yet. Let's also use this one. And in the worst case scenario, our one Fatal Push can kill Kroxa. So I'm just knocking on wood our opponent does not snipe or Go Blank. Okay, they're going for the full load. So So next turn we will have a live mirror break. Graveyard Trespasser. Sure. I would. Wow, we're really missing our land drops here. But our opponent's definitely at 5. It's very dangerously close. Let's clear this for now. So at least that gets rid of everything they have. Well, not everything. Oh, they did have their own go blank. They went for the Graveyard Trespasser instead. Makes sense. So now I'm incentivized to snipe this one. They did have their own removal, so we are in a bit of a race situation. Question, yeah, I really need to hit that 4th mana, but okay, we hit our 4th mana. So here's the question. Unfortunately, if I played this, they start copying here. Not good. I need to snipe this, but this has a CMC of 3. We're gonna have to take another hit. Also of note, our opponent is also stuck on mana as well. So they hit another Fable, so okay, they did hit their 4th mana. It took a while. But now I'm also incentivized to hold on to the Fatal Push because if they hit a 5th, I can Fatal Push it before it attacks. Kolaghan's Command doesn't it discards their card, but let's hold up the Fatal Push. And we can probably discard the Bloodchief's Thirst to the Fatal Push. Okay. They go for Sorin. But the Vampire token is also quite snipeable. Oh, they're not going for that. Ooh, another Trespasser. Okay. If he lets it go, nope, he blocks with it, which is perfect for us, I guess. I'm gonna do the Bloodchief's Thirst, but just to stop them from drawing too many more cards. But there's a very good chance our opponent, if they go for this one, we take 4 damage. It's not the worst. Nope, they're going for Bone Crusher. They're unloading everything. Okay. But man, they're draining us for quite a lot. Hold on. Do we have any more creature cards in our yard? No. So... yeah. Those choices are not ideal. Yeah, I can't afford to let them duplicate this, so discard. Okay. Oh, opponent's going into card draw mode. We have to block the Trespasser first because I don't want them gaining too much life off us. Okay, drew another Fatal Push. So we're actually gonna hold this one. Especially between the Hive and the Den. We might just go for more card draw. Well, Probably not Thought Seizing anytime soon. So we're gonna go for the Fabled. At least the Thought Seize is a good discard target now. Fatal Push, okay, that gets rid of their last card. I could have Thought Seize first just to avoid that, but that's fine. They have to be feeling antsy, but they're literally just going for more card draw. Well, that's very disciplined of them, if I may say so myself. Okay, discarding. Well, no card to discard. So we are going to be taking a bit of damage. Our opponent opted not to cap. Well, opponent's just unloading their lands. I think they're afraid I'm going to attack with Den. Okay. So there's their target. Though we do have some tech on this. Namely, if our opponent decides to go for this, we can snipe. Oh, we can't snipe it in response. It's the mana cost is too high. Go figure. Thoughtseize. Yeah, sure. They would need to have a second Thoughtseize for this to be quite relevant. But now they know not to activate their lands. Bloodtide Harvester. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna pass until end of their turn. Okay, so now we nuke this one. Probably might as well draw a card. Baleful Mastery is fine. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, here's the caveat. If I go, if I go and swing, there's a chance our opponent can get us on the knockback. So we're actually gonna pass. Wow, this is actually quite complex. So let's see how many they activate. They can actually activate multiples. Okay, so 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm gonna go down to 6. Have to at least nuke 1. I have to go for Hive because that has to, because that doesn't get killed by a stomp. But there's a good chance our opponent might have a fatal push and that just ends it. Okay, not yet. So we're not dead yet. But we're gonna need to first play the land. Ooh, not enough. Then I would have needed to cast one more, but we probably would have been dead anyway. And their last card's a Fable. Well, that was a lot closer. Let's view the battlefield, see everything they played. Everything they played is quite normal. No new tech. Okay, except for the Go Blank, which we probably will add more. Because it's going to be a Go Blank battle here. I'm still willing to keep the Hazoret. I might just bin the Chandras. and say add another fatal push in. Oh yeah, actually let's cut the blood chiefs first. Add the duress. We'll keep the Sorin because it has a chat, because it's good at giving us creatures that can gain us some life back. Not the most ideal plan, but it's still better for the most part. Bo1, please, for the sake of time. Opponent is kind of deep into sideboarding tech, so there aren't that many sideboarding. Most of the sideboarding tech is usually geared towards white. That's the one thing I've noticed first and foremost. So it's pretty much just the additional go blanks and whatnot. Yeah, we're just waiting on our opponent. And somehow, no Greasefang deck. Though I would say you're very likely to find Greasefang in best of one, so you might want to tailor your deck choices to it. For the most part, the Hazoret might not be the best choice here. Okay, 2 mana, 3/3. Please. You know it's bad when you're begging the computer to give you a land. Well, not there yet. Well, we can snipe their tot. Well, we can snipe their Thoughtseize. Opponent did keep. Ooh. Okay, so this ETB's tapped. So opponent can just go Graveyard Trespasser, Duress. Oh, they might snipe the Baleful Mask. Oh, they're sniping one of the Fables. Okay. They do drop their Graveyard Trespasser. Discard up to 2 cards. Do I don't actually want to discard any of these cards now. Keep the Fatal Push up. They might have a go blank, which would be really annoying. That's probably the only downside to this play. They might have a go blank, which would wipe our Hazoret. No go blank. And opponent concedes. It looks like they did not have an out to the Hazoret. So there you go. That's actually a decent performance. As you can see, we did have a mirror match. Rakdos Midrange is quite popular here, but I would say that it does give us a good example of looking at other people's deck lists to see if what's the secret tech like. Because there's no Kalitas again, I've been struggling hard to fill up that slot. Explorer is default just the Planeswalkers, which I felt was not a very good choice. Especially that third Chandra did not feel right. I tried Rankle. I've tried Immerstrom Predator. I was considering Immerstrom Predator already. The Hazoret was actually a very good ad. I did not realize there was not that much exile in the mirror match. Also the 3 Baleful Masteries. Again, I mentioned that used to be Dreadbore. in Pioneer. In Explorer, they just use instant speed removal, but having it excel is pretty much a big part there. Anyway, that's gonna be it for this episode, the Magic Arena Run. If you like what you saw, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, turn on the notifications and whatnot. Again, we didn't really get to test much of the sideboard because of the decks we were up against, but I can definitely say the Damping Sphere, the Damping Sphere looks like a legacy tech. The Legions, and I don't know how often this is relevant. There are some token strategies that you might run into, but this could also kind of go. I might actually consider running Shadow's Verdict because it hits the trees. It also hits Obnixilis. Oh yeah, some sideboards actually do have Obnixilis here. It's a good thing I did not in this case. It would not have fit this particular game plan. But there you go. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope to see you guys again next time. Take care. God bless. Stay safe wherever you are. Have a great rest of your week, everyone. Take care.